All right, hello everyone. So, if you look at my screen currently, you might be asking yourself, Nintern, why does Void Scarred in this build, why is it taking the Apex talents? Well, that's a great question. The answer is mostly that melee talents aren't very good. The only really thing that makes them okay is, or good, is Devourer's Bite, but this is kind of hot off the presses for early Sims, so just keep in mind that these are still early Sims for Midnight, and that things can really change any time as things get cooked or things get simmed and things like that, or like drain rate gets changed. Um, and the biggest thing about this build, besides the fact that it's a Void Scarred build that doesn't take Debite, but it also doesn't take the Hunt, is that it gets to cast Collapsing Star, and it gets to cast Void Ray outside of meta. And this build is good in single target. It's tentatively, the last time I saw, the highest simming single target build. Again, grain of salt. But for AoE, this would just be removing Umbral Blade to Eradicate, and the build stays the same, which is a really big benefit. Because it means you're not losing out on a ton of single target. And for AoE, Annihilator beats it out in like sustained AoE, but in like burstier situations, this would be better. But it's close enough that I think you could really play either one, even in high key versus low key, things like that. But just to get into rotational changes, the big difference is, like I said, that when I'm doing my consume spam here, like pre-patch, I'm going to just spam consume, but the big difference is eventually, here in a few seconds, I'm going to get 100 Fury, so I'm going to press a Void Ray, and then I'll Reap, and then I get to go into meta. I'm going to Void Ray, call Void Blade Hungering back, C-Star, I'll call again, and then I just go into my standard priority, so on and so forth. As long as I have 4 souls, I'm going to class Call. I got another C-Star, so I'm going to cast that. Then allow me to Call again. Void Ray came back up, etc., etc. You kind of get where I'm going with this. But the build, I've played it in a couple keys, and it just flows really, really nicely. I really have no direct complaints with this build. And I try not to be too biased towards certain builds. I mean, I am more of a Void Scarred fan than an Annihilator fan. But I think this build really does the best of both worlds between the two hero talents. And it's something that I would like to see continue going forward. And I'll have the build linked in the description below. And if you want to, again, if you want to switch this to Mythic Plus, just take Umbral Blade out and replace it with Eradicate. That's all you have to do. And just remember, things can change. But if you have any direct questions about this, I am always available. If you join my Discord, which is linked in the description, it's really easy to just ping me there, ask me a question. I'll answer as best as I can. As for Annihilator, just to touch up on that a little bit, builds for that I'm pretty sure still kind of the same. I think Sailder was cooking up like a melee Annihilator thing with like Devourer's Bite. But I would say Annihilator, I'll cover that in another video at another time. And as for videos going forward before Midnight launch, I'm not going to be making any pre-patch content. It's all going to be focused on talking about, maybe dungeons and raids and kind of what we can be looking at. But I'm probably not going to stick to my strict schedule just because we're in the most dead time that you can ever have for World of Warcraft. So, but again, if you're in my Discord, you'll get notifications when I upload, and you can see what I'm kind of thinking about when it comes to uploading. Otherwise, the rules still kind of are the same, just the rotation's a little bit more dynamic, and you get to press your Collapsing Star, and it actually doesn't suck. So, beyond that, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and go ahead and like and subscribe.